liberal.
Look on her face was like that of Nancy Pelosi when she realized she was no longer in a safe place for being called Crazy Nancy.
When things are wrong, I'll be by your side. Even when you want to cry.
Welcome.
Welcome
to the Naked Apple.
Welcome to it. Welcome.
Oh no. You've got the Rona.
You got the Rona. My Corona.
Hey, Rona, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Rona.
Hey, Rona.
All right.
All right. COVID-19.
How many songs are we going to squeeze this into before we actually get rolling here?
That's all I got.
We got to save some for next time.
Nah. You know, well, since we're on the subject of songs and using them, you know, Biden went down to Georgia.
Was he looking for some votes to steal?
For some votes to steal. He was in a bind
because he was way behind.
Needed to make a deal. My name's Johnny. I'm the best pollster around. Make
you run a pretty good campaign, old boy, but
give the devil his due.
I bet an office of gold against your soul.
You got this ballot of gold bet against your soul.
There you go. Ballot of gold.
Says I'm better than you.
That's terrible.
It might be a sin.
I'll take your bet you're gonna regret. I'm the best there's ever been. Wow.
Scribble on that ballot? No, I ruined it.
Yeah, you ruined it. You lost it. We lost it. That was pretty good for ad-libbing as we went along.
Scribble on that ballot, Johnny. Scratched across that dot and made an evil hiss. All right. That's all the copyright stuff we're doing.
Then a band of Democrats joined in and sounded something like this. I got nothing.
You had an opportunity.
I had an opportunity to play
snorting.
I did. And it sounded something like this. I was looking at the thing and I was like, oh, I don't have the monkeys. I totally forgot the pigs were on there.
You need to organize that.
I need to organize this. Like 15 times now.
Thank you, Wilhelm. In other news.
Yes. In other news, with water now found on the moon, Trump proposes a space navy.
It's understandable.
That is understandable.
Seeing as how you need ships to get to the moon.
Yep. Also, CNN has decided to mourn the confirmation of ACB by flying the Chinese flag at half-mast.
It is a sad day in America.
Yep.
Sad, sad day. Dark, even.
Mm-hmm. And Supreme Court runner-up Merrick Garland secures gig on Dancing with the Stars. That has been your 5-minute Babylon Bee.
Babbling bee.
Babbling bee.
All right, so let's start with some good news, shall we?
Okay. Was that the good news that I just did? Are we going on from there, or is there more good news?
We're continuing the good news.
Oh, okay.
Continuing on with the good news, and then we will sink into despair.
Yes. Okay. Good news.
Good news. The FDA has announced that it has approved the first treatment for COVID-19.
Oh,
Not
yay!
not the vaccine treatment.
Oh no, it's got to be that the special thing that Trump got, right?
Remdesivir. Yes.
That wasn't the special thing, but that is a thing that he got, so that works.
Yeah, and that was mocked for a minute at the beginning of all this.
Yeah, it was mocked for a long minute at the beginning of this.
Turns out, Trump was right again. Huh.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's available for you. It can now legally by hospitals without repercussions. Blah blah blah. Used for pediatric patients 12 years of age and older, weighing at least 40 kilograms, however much that is. Whatever. It's 88 pounds. For treatment of COVID-19 requiring hospitalization.
There's only 2 units of measure, Trevor.
There's the metric and the
And then the one that went to the moon. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the NASA actually switched to metric before the moon landing.
They converted from standard to metric.
Mm-hmm.
The Russians only used metric. You can find their spacecraft on the moon as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still on the moon in pieces.
It is scattered in a few spots across the moon.
The Mars rover, or not, I think it was the Mars rover, the first attempt at landing on Mars was done entirely in metric. It smashed to pieces on the surface of Mars. The next one was converted from not metric. I don't believe it was standard technically. Technically it was, but not.
Imperial, you mean?
Something like that.
Okay.
And that one landed with fuel to spare.
I would just like to point out to all of our listeners that I have gotten quite adept at derailing Trevor's trains of thought.
Yes. When you make a statement that I wholeheartedly agree with because it's both insulting to others and true.
What you said was rude, accurate, and uncalled for. Really need to make that shirt.
Yes.
Speaking of which, we have an idea for a shirt. And eventually we'll release it.
Yep. And with that, that's it for the FDA. That's really all it is. It's
That's all it is?
Bunch
Okay.
of medical jargon of we tested here, did that, blah blah blah, does this to the enzymes, something or other, whatever. Use it. But in associated with what Mike did. So a while ago we teased a special thing we're doing of special history podcasts, Slices of History, we're calling it.
Yes, Slices of History.
And I finally got around to actually editing the thing.
After I spent so long recording it.
Yes. He spent 2 hours recording it. I spent
3 days
3
editing
days
it.
editing it.
I put in so much effort.
And granted, he did study for it. He did some crammed research in the last
I did.
3 hours of the day before.
I spent 2 days typing that up, man. That one kind of hurt, actually. It took a while.
Okay, all right. I knew you crammed. I just didn't know what the cramming.
A couple of monsters and like 2 whole days sitting at this freaking computer. My eyes hurt.
But we got it done.
We got it done.
And we'll be uploading that, hopefully, this weekend to our Patreon page that we will post on our socials and along. We'll also put it on our podcast links, of course. Yeah, and you can go and do a thing there. We don't know the price and all that yet, but you'll go there and you'll find out and you'll decide whether or not $2 a month is worth hearing more history things or whatever we decide to.
I think
Put the entry
their
level at.
Patreon's base rate is 3. It's the lowest they let you go.
All right. And we'll be making swag and stuff you can get
Purchase eventually.
You can purchase and probably get rewarded with because you decided to pay for a couple of guys in a basement talking to you. Yeah. So on to the rest of the news related to COVID. This one's actually local for us in Utah. So we have, California has Disneyland, whatever. Florida has Disney World, whatever. Busch Gardens in Virginia. We have a permanent carnival known as Lagoon.
We do. And it's quite fantastic.
The price to enter is like when you get a cool 5% discount at Disneyland. That's about the price to enter Lagoon.
It's expensive. It's expensive. Actually, I have found, and I'm perfectly honest, over the years, the season pass is by far the best way to go.
Yeah, you go 2.5 times and it's paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's $100 a year if you get it on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Like per person.
Yeah.
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 It's great.
So at Lagoon, there were where's my mouse? Where's the mouse?
It's right there.
There it is.
Middle of your screen.
If I panic more and move it fast so I can't see it, I'll see it. There's several park goers that are concerned about the capacity at Lagoon.
I knew this was going to come up eventually.
So Lagoon has this thing where it's like a staggered entrance, and they ask you to wear a mask at least while you're in line. Yeah. Yeah. I'm willing to bet the management at Lagoon, for the most part, doesn't care.
They have little signs all over that say, Governor Herbert asks you to wear a mask.
The management at Lagoon doesn't care.
Yeah, I don't
They
care
just
either.
don't want to get
I flipped
sued.
off those signs as I walked past them most
They
of the
don't-
time
they
while
don't-
I'm there.
Basically, they have this stuff up so they can, I don't know, operate and pay their employees and stay in business. So that's why
It's all right. They only have like 3 days left in the season anyway.
they're doing the bare minimum so they can stay afloat until next year.
Right.
Yeah, some people are upset because there's lots of people there. Some people aren't wearing masks. There's one of the park goers who echoed the concern. We're pulling this from KSL.com. One of the park goers who echoed the concerns of multiple people KSL heard from Saturday said they were concerned safety measures at the park were lax and that more could have been done to keep everyone safe. Oh, it's not safe to ride the wild mouse again.
What, did they add the hydraulic system that tipped the cart back into it? Is
Put the
that...
hydraulics back in, got rid of the wheels on the bottom.
Dude, have I ever told you my story about that first year it came out? So we went, it was back when my family still went like once a year all together, right?
Right.
And we got me and 3 of my older brothers went on that ride together, and we are not small individuals. At the time, I was probably the smallest one in that group,
And you were not small.
and I was decently over 200 pounds.
Football.
Yeah. And so so we climb into this cart, and as we're going up that first little hill, one of my brothers yells, "Hey, what's the weight limit on this thing?" My other brother, Kenny, he's a little, he was a little bit bigger than the other 3 of us at the time, was like, "Why'd you have to say that?" And he screamed like a little girl the entire ride. As it's going around those corners and the hydraulics like pop it just a little bit. He totally thought we were coming off the rails. It was great. Anyway.
Yeah. I believe they did that to pay homage to the original Wild Mouse type ride they had there, where people actually fell off the track.
Probably.
Well, the car fell off the track with people in it. Because some tight turns. Anyway.
Yep.
Like many, Anne said she's ready for life to get back to normal. We were thinking we'd be able to have a good day at Lagoon and be safe, and we bought our tickets. We reserved a time that we thought might help with what they're doing, she said. But Anne said what she experienced upon entering the park was not what she expected. Dun, dun, dun.
Done.
I've gone to Lagoon my whole life, and this is more than I've ever seen Lagoon have people.
Really?
I don't know. Have you ever been to Lagoon around the
know.
weekend of July 4th?
I don't think. I mean, I was there the particular Saturday that they're talking about. I went, and it was pretty busy, but I have seen it much fuller.
You were one of the
than that.
miscreants.
I was. We actually, I actually turned around and left just because I didn't want to wait in the lines that would have caused. But not because I was afraid of the Rona, but just because I hate people in general.
I hate people, and I don't want to stand
people
around and
making
wait.
me wait to go places that I want to go is even more annoying than just people in general. So,
Oh, yeah. By the way, there's no fast pass type thing at Lagoon.
yeah, no fast pass. You get what you get,
It's a carnival.
and you don't throw a fit.
Permanent carnival. Anne and her friends took pictures along with several others who were concerned about COVID safety measures at the park. The Gestapo was at the park. There was no way we could socially distance, and I was really concerned. For me and my friends, we wanted to be safe, said Anne. Then leave.
Right?
Anne said they tried
go.
to get a refund or rain check to return on a less busy day, but tickets were non-refundable. Yeah, because the season ends in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And they can't prove how long you've been in the park or not.
Yeah.
So, also, it's in the fine print on every ticket.
Yeah.
Not a refund, just a day to come back when it's not so crowded. They wouldn't even let us do that. Park spokesperson Adam Lilly said they're confident in the safety measures at the park.
Kofifi?
Kofifi. We're in line with local health guidelines. We feel very confident within the 200 acres that people are able to socially distance and wear masks in public. You are able to follow the rules per state guidelines.
I'm not going to hold your hand across the entire 200 acres outdoors.
Leishman said employees at the park encourage mask wearing and social distancing because that's what
They do.
says.
They do.
You can encourage.
If you get in a line without a mask on, they get haughty with you.
Oh, remind me of an email when we're done with this.
Okay, remember an email when we're done with this.
Thank you.
Okay.
I expect nothing less from you. Because I would do exactly the same thing. Exactly the same.
You've known me for years. You should not expect anything less from me.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't. We do have hand sanitizers throughout the park. We encourage social distancing through each queue line.
They do that.
Mass and queue lines and required to enter the park, he said.
They even have little people with signs walking around that say 6 feet apart, wear a mask.
Okay.
Super easy.
He said the park was working closely with Davis County Health Department and not operating at capacity. I believe it.
And with the Frightmares thing going on, if you go through their haunted houses without a mask, like if you pull your mask down while you're going through the haunted house, the people inside stop interacting with you and you get taken out of the haunted house. You're not allowed to finish it.
As far as comparisons from last year, we are well under half of our capacity from last year. I believe it. I've driven past. I haven't gone to Lagoon this year because I just don't want to bother. And I pretty much don't want to pay to go.
I've been like 4 or 5 times.
But driving past, I've done that a few times, and the parking lot is quite sparse every time I've driven past.
Yeah. So the weekend that they're referring to, the overflow was actually used.
Oh.
'Cause you know, like they have that parking lot, and then they have that field out on the side. Yeah, we ended up having to park out there. That was why we didn't go in. Is we like got there and saw that you had to park in the overflow. We were like, no.
Yep. But
Bounce.
for folks like Anne, there was room for improvement. We only rode the water rides because there were no people around there, and I didn't notice any cleaning.
It's because it's cold.
Yeah, people aren't going on the rapids because, I don't know, a winter storm blew in on Sunday.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
the cleaning thing is because they only have to clean when somebody throws up on the ride or every like 15 or 20 minutes. something like that. So half of your wait time is them having to stop the ride to clean real fast and then have it go again.
If only there was some sort of UV light available.
Or 30 minutes, something like that. I can't remember.
If only there was some sort of UV light available to break down germs and viruses on surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
That would speed up that process a lot for them.
Right.
Yeah. So people are upset because I'm sure there's stories like this from Disney World too. I would not be surprised if there's a Disney World story like this.
There's people here and it's crowded and it's dangerous.
Then don't go.
Then don't go. Right?
Yeah, but I want to go to Lagoon.
Then
Well,
go.
so did
and don't
everybody
complain.
else.
Yeah.
So
I want to go to the store without having to wear a mask, but here we are. Which reminds me of what I reminded Mike to remind me of.
yes, there was an email you were supposed to read.
So it's not one I can read, but I have
Email you were supposed to have.
I don't have it. I should get it, but yeah,
Then what the crap are you telling me about an email for?
because I know of the email.
Oh, he knows of the email.
I know of the email.
Is this one of the ones that was on one of those server things that
No.
Okay.
This is again local.
I was just making sure I didn't need to have you write a note that you didn't suicide yourself or something.
So a person that I am aware of and know very well sent an email to the mayor of Salt Lake County asking what they should do with this mask stuff, because wearing a mask, it makes them very anxious, nervous, hard to breathe, things like that. They don't do well with confined spaces, so a mask isn't really all
They're
that,
claustrophobic. Yeah.
basically, more or less. And
Understand.
the mayor responded. The gist of the email was, then don't wear one.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you don't have to wear one. You don't have to wear a mask. No mask is needed for you. That's it. Don't wear a mask. So this person emailed the county sheriff just to double check things, see what the law enforcement end of it is doing.
They shouldn't be doing anything because it's not a law.
That's what they said.
Okay. Just
They
checking.
They said,
Making sure.
is it, no, you don't have, they confirmed, no, you don't have to wear a mask when you go places. If it's a private business and they're asking you to do so in order to enter, technically you have to.
Which is a double-edged
that
sword
thing.
because they're being required to require masks or they get their licenses pulled.
He said, however, we're not answering calls for that unless it escalates. And there will be no fines attached to it at all. So there's zero teeth
In anything.
in any of this. Zero teeth. Bunch of gums going after that.
What are you going to do? Gum me to death?
You think you're funny.
Uh,
All right. So now for the downward spiral.
Spile?
The FBI has thwarted an assassination attempt on Joe Biden. This was October 23rd, 24th is when this came
That
out.
actually semi makes sense. A spile?
A spile.
Long or fast speech or story, typically one intended as a means of persuasion or as an excuse, but regards with skepticism or contempt by those who hear it.
Word of the day.
Regarded with skepticism.
Word of the day, a spile. A spile
Or
to
spiel.
something.
I guess that would be spiel, is how that's pronounced.
Spiel.
Spiel.
Oh,
Oh, so close.
I like using spiel. It's been a while since I've said
Yeah, it
spiel.
has been.
What's your spiel? My mouse keeps disappearing. So I'm more so just covering the headlines of this one because I first saw it on, it was either MSNBC or NBC, and now I can't find the story at all in those things. If you can find them, send us the thing. Because the headline read like this from the Pledge Times is where I found this headline. FBI thwarted assassination attempt on Biden. I saw that on my feed. I thought, wow, that's pretty big news. In the story, it describes this guy has had like $500,000 cash in a van, a lot of guns and ammo and all this stuff. And he mentioned in some, I think it's a meme sharing thing, iFunny, if I remember right.
Oh, okay.
Mentioned in there that something about, I guess I better go assassinate Joe Biden or something like that. I thought, wow, that's a big deal. And reading through the article, it read much like this one does, where there's no mention really of like what might have motivated him, where he's coming from. I was expecting some sort of political something or other leaning to show up there, and reading through the original article, MSNBC, just saw nothing. It was an actual report on what was happening. It was actual news, not just person was registered as Republican or anything like that. I was like, thought it suspicious and tossed it aside for a moment. Later that day, I saw another headline, and I don't know why I'm using this link, but whatever, we're using this link. That's not the right link. There it is. From the Washington Post. So this is where Pledge Times got their thing from, the Washington Post. A 19-year-old with a van full of guns and explosives plotted to assassinate Biden, federal officials say. And you go through here and you read that the guy was a Joe Biden supporter. Or not a Joe Biden supporter. That'd be really weird.
That would be really weird. I support him, so I'm going to kill him.
I'm going to kill him. But no better way to get him in office.
Put him out of his misery. Nothing says elect me like an assassination attempt. I'm going to hell for that joke. Among other things.
No, he was a Bernie supporter. Bernie, as in Democratic presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders, who debated Joe Biden to try to be the Democrat nominee. That Bernie. And you can actually, so I'll do this here. Control F. Let's find Bernie. Oh, look. Days after Bernie Sanders suspended his presidential campaign, Treisman, the person, I almost said a word I shouldn't say, who had suggested in a Reddit post that he had to save Bernie, posted a meme with a caption questioning whether he should kill Biden. Yeah, that's so. I didn't see the Washington Post article originally, so I don't know if this was originally in there, if they added it later. But from what I saw was this story, basically, and we'll do the same thing here. Control F. Bernie. There's only one result for Bernie Sanders. He focused on the idea of assassinating Joe Biden in the spring when it became clear that the former vice president would become the single Democratic candidate for the presidency during the primaries. He confidently beat Senator Bernie Sanders. After that, Alexander left a message on the popular internet platform Reddit in which he announced he wanted to save Sanders. So it's not quite as clear on that one as it was on the Washington Post. And the original one I read had no mention at all of Bernie Sanders. And then from conservative-leaning news sites, they dug into that more. They found out about this Bernie Sanders thing, and he was quite a Bernie Sanders supporter of liking lots of pages and links and.
But Bernie's a Democrat. Why would they want to kill the Democratic candidate?
Marxism. That's why.
It's because they want Kamala to be president. I see.
Yes.
You are the most left-leaning senator
Yeah.
Dude, the look on her face. Did you actually watch that skit? She's got this freaking shit-eating grin on her face as she's, oh, somebody said that, and it was Mike Pence at the debate, and then
Trying
as
to
soon
laugh
as
it off.
and then as soon as what's her face is like, no.
The nonpartisan group, whatever, rated you as the most
rated
liberal.
you as the most liberal.
Look on her face was like that of Nancy Pelosi when she realized she was no longer in a safe place for being called Crazy Nancy.
Oh.
And I heard it first, and you could hear in her voice a lot of cracking and trembling as she tries to find the right way to lie about her stance.
And the like half crying as she
and then breaks into crying to play the victim card.
As she plays the victim card on, dude.
Yeah. The real question I want reporters to ask her is, what made you decide to support the candidate you said is racist and sexist?
Right. Oh, that was just primaries talk. It's politics.
That's just
politics. It's
politics.
just politics.
Just politics. Except for when Donald Trump says something critical of you, then it's not just politics.
Then it's racist.
Then
do you
personal.
think that Donald Trump is racist because of the things he said about you? Yes, I do.
No hesitation.
That was the answer.
It was zero hesitation.
Zero hesitation.
Another headline thing. So scrolling through. Oh, by the way, I had time to just see a lot of headlines because baby finally came. Yay!
Yay, baby!
Mom's fine. Baby's fine.
Cute little stinker.
And chaos is increased by 33%.
At least.
Because now there's 3 children running around the house.
At least 33%.
Well, 2 children running around the house. 1 child trying to figure out how
one child doesn't even know what a
does not know
house is. So
yes. So while I was sitting there trying to sleep uncomfortably on a hospital chair, I noticed a lot of differences in headlines because I was on Facebook a lot to just look at headlines. And what I noticed early in the day was this headline: Nancy Pelosi, we have to be very careful about election-related statements from the intelligence community. Okay.
Wait. What?
Why?
Wait.
Why?
Why would we have to be from the intelligence community?
Yeah.
Why would we have to be careful about things we hear from the intelligence community?
Because you never know when the intelligence community will say something like this. Pelosi and Schiff, Adam Shifty Shift, call U.S. intel.
Shifty Schiff.
They call U.S. intel warning of Russia and Iran election interference disturbing.
Oh, you mean the Iran election interference where they pretended to be Proud Boys and threatened senators and that information, Iran
that information that came from the intelligence community.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
I saw.
Or is it the intelligence community information that the Hunter Biden laptop is actually legit? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't Russian or Iranian. That was straight from the U.S.
So here's how this works. In order to have a double standard, you have to only appreciate what favors your ideas.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yes. So you have to be very careful about election-related statements from the intelligence community. I have no idea what this is because I just saw the headline. I was like, okay, yeah, it's Nancy doing whatever. Scrolled past. Hours later, Pelosi and Schiff call U.S. intel warning of Russia, Iran, and election interference disturbing. So, now
This is from back on October 22nd.
22nd, both of them.
Both of them.
Both of them, October 22nd.
Interesting.
So I'm guessing this is something about just talking to Director of National Intelligence Ratcliffe about the security of elections. We have to be very careful about any statement coming from
Because they don't always agree with us.
Uh-huh.
Wait.
Especially when they're saying that hey, there's this election thing over here that's probably not cool. There's no evidence of that.
You know, when the intelligence community is not agreeing with you on a lot of things, and you have to tell the public to not listen to the intelligence community, there's a very simple explanation for why that would be, and it's because you are a
Liar!
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's either the intelligence community is lying,
either they are a
Liar!
or you are a
Liar!
yeah,
one or the other
one or the other.
is true.
The
Or-
honestly scary
or-
thing is that I wouldn't put it past either side to be liar.
Right. I'll take door number 3.
I'll take door number 3. They're all lying.
C, all of the above. Yeah. So that's a nice little double standard there of, yeah, sure, there's ish going on, but not that stuff. But this stuff that promotes him, that's bad.
I really suck at the soundboard thing. I had this all set up so that when you made your announcement about your little baby, that I could play this for you.
Oh, Rafiki. Gonna have to nip that one out, because do not take anything from Disney. I'm serious.
This is snip, snip.
Disney hears everything, and they pound anyone that uses their stuff without asking for permission. Even if they ask for permission, they'll still give them a hard time. Funny though. I guess since we're snipping it, it's go watch Lion King and you'll understand.
Right.
You'll understand the reference. So finally, further down into the pit of despair, we're going to give you a shimmering, laughing moment.
Ha! You can use up to 10, 15, or 30 seconds, depending on the material, before you get hit with copyright. And that is a 8-second clip.
All right. Well, you're the money, so that's your legal battle then. That's
Don't put that on me.
you put it on yourself. Anyway, so if you remember from our liars episode, Donald Trump, actually, I don't think we covered it much. Donald Trump doesn't want to relinquish power. Actually, we did. That was one of the liars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not gonna. It's not gonna be a peaceful transition from Trump. Someone who's still trying to figure out how to peacefully transition was in the news recently. Hillary Clinton is still fuming. I was born to be president. It makes me literally sick to my stomach to think of another Trump win. This is from, I don't even know who this is, Conservative Dispatch. I'm pretty sure they copied from somewhere else and posted it. Anyway, in an appearance on Kara Swisher's New York Times opinion podcast, Sway, Hillary Clinton let known how she feels.
Yeah, no, cut that out of there so that I don't get sued. I don't have the money for a lawsuit. Anyway.
You're still looking at that? Yeah, Disney doesn't play around with that. They will find every way.
They will hurt me.
Yeah, there's when I was looking for stuff to use for our slices of history, stumbled across a thing on the legal use of GIFs. And one thing they stressed was, no matter what it is, don't use Disney. No, seriously, don't use Disney. They will find it and they will pound you down. Anyways, Hillary was asked if she thought a woman president would handle the coronavirus pandemic more ably. Now that you've had 9 months now to think, reflect on this, do you think you would have done better in the moment than Donald Trump? Clinton said, I have no doubt, especially if it were me. I can't do her ugly, cankly cackle and voice, so just deal with it. She said, I was born for that. I mean, that's why I knew I'd be a good president. I was ready for crises. I was ready for crises and emergencies. And I would have done what you see these women leaders doing. Which women leaders? Like Kristi Noem? The governor of North Dakota, or like ACB, who is, fun fact, Hillary Clinton's birthday was the same day.
Same day that she got.
That she was passed the Senate vote and sworn in. So there's that. Let's see. I would have done what you see these women leaders doing. You listen to the science. You bring in people in an open, inclusive way. You communicate constantly. You make the case by explaining why what you're doing is in the long-term interest, not only of health, but also of the economy. Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that that I would have stepped up to that crisis. Later on in the interview, she was asked what she thinks of Trump's re-election possibility. And she said, I can't entertain the idea of him winning. Yeah, because then you'll lose to him twice, basically. Because you lost to Joe. It would cause cognitive dissonance of a grave degree, she said, before adding, it makes me literally sick to my stomach to think.
She would know exactly what cognitive dissonance feels like.
You mean like a rag? It makes me literally sick to my stomach to think that we'd have 4 more years of this abuse and destruction of our institutions and damaging of our norms and our values and lessening of our... she said something similar to this before. Yeah. She upset that she's not doing that or that he's doing that? Is she upset because he's destroying it and not her? Or she's actually concerned? Or because it's being rebuilt instead of destroyed? If you're a demolition person and you see something being built, do you get upset? Because your demolition is being destroyed? But there's no doubt that I would do everything there's no doubt that he would do everything he could to attack and punish anyone who is, in his view, an adversary. Like, what was it? Wait a minute. Basket of deplorables? Something? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't think he has any boundaries at all, Kara. I don't think he has any conscience. He's obviously, Clinton Foundation, he's obviously not a moral, truthful man, Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton. So he will do whatever he can to lift himself up. And
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Okay, yeah, I did. But that doesn't matter now because you all forgot about it. And remember, as I said, he lives with this specter of illegitimacy. There it is. He knows more about how he got really elected than we still do. It's called the Electoral College.
Yes.
You can campaign
the proper way to get elected in this country.
You can campaign in California and New York and other highly densely populated places you want. You still got to convince the rest of the country to vote for you.
Yep. Otherwise, the only 4 places you would have to campaign is Texas, Florida, New York, and California.
And then you have all the popular vote.
Yep.
Done.
The entire thing. The whole enchilada.
The whole thing. I have nothing funny to say. hopefully we'll learn more in the years ahead. So she's hoping that they can turn us away from a republic.
Yes,
into
yes.
a
She's hoping that
democracy.
we are no longer a republic, that we,
Yeah.
in fact, die and become a democracy.
Yeah.
Because that's how republics die, as a democracy.
And then democracy dies real quick after that.
Yep. Usually as a dictatorship.
Or an autocracy.
Yep.
The same thing.
Same thing.
Just different words.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The way we can say the same thing with different words repeatedly.
Bonus headline if you want to do some reading. I haven't read it yet, but it seems like it'll be interesting. From MSNBC, Republicans have a history of weaponizing socialism, but do they understand what it is? Yes. Yes, they do.
Probably better than most of your followers do,
Mhm.
given some of the arguments I've had with some of your followers.
Socialist is just like posting on Facebook, right?
Well, you have to know the difference between an actual socialist economy and simple socialist programs.
There.
Let me... No, that'll take too long. Let me summarize.
They're the same.
Socialism as a whole is just a worse version of socialism as a piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's like saying the difference between a seed and a plant. It's the same thing. Just different stages.
I'm not talking about a tree here. I'm just talking about a leaf. We just need more leaves.
I don't want the whole tree. I just want a branch.
Yeah, so did Venezuela. So did China. So did Russia. So did...
Yeah, you know what happens when you cut a branch off of a tree? It falls and smacks you on the head if you're not paying attention. Not speaking from experience.
Not speaking from experience. I haven't experienced that. Nothing. It is.
Also, a fun thing to go on that. I have not had a single friend who believes in the idea of socialism that has admitted what socialism actually is. And every time I bring it up, no, that's not what we're doing. That's not what it is. That's not what it's about. Socialism was literally created from the very beginning as a transitional state between capitalism and communism. You have a grid, like a gradient
Uh-huh.
of economics. On one side, you have capitalism. On the other side, you have communism. Socialism is the thing that slides the piece between the two.
Socialism is that sorry piece.
Yes,
Where
exactly.
you're not really sorry when you slide across.
Right?
And communism is just the practice of Marxism in politics.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, socialism is part of Marxist theory.
Yes.
So communism is the Marxist end goal. Socialism is the Marxist tool to achieve communism.
Was it Lenin that said communism is the goal of Marxism?
Yes.
Yeah.
And socialism is the tool of it.
Real socialism hasn't been tried. Yeah, thank heavens.
Yeah. Well, it has been tried. It's been successful in let's see, Venezuela, China. Should we go on here?
Pick a lot.
Pick a shithole country.
Pick a lot of countries that don't exist anymore.
Yeah, right.
What I find fascinating too about just wear your mask and this will go away. A lot
Just
of
wait in the bread line. This will go away.
a lot of those same people that are demanding the mask and all that stuff at somewhere around the end of last year, a lot of those same people were talking about how terrible capitalism is. And even in the beginning of the pandemic, the capitalism failed us because I couldn't get my TP. Yet they don't seem to have an issue with buying all these fancy-pantsy masks from companies that are now making millions of dollars making reusable masks and one-time use masks via capitalism because it's something you like, so it's fine. This is where that double standard comes in that we talked about before.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Indeed. Exactly. Just so.
Capitalism is evil.
So you bought a mask? I need this to survive. So capitalism helps you survive.
Ah, yes.
No,
Yes, indeed.
no, that's not how this works.
Yes,
It's exactly how it
that's
works.
Exactly how it works.
Exactly how it works. Yeah. Said it before, I'll say it again, and I will always say it. Socialism looks good on paper as long as capitalism is providing the paper.
This is the thing I think is funny about it, because the reason why socialism and socialist ideas appeal to so many is because they have the anecdotal portion of evidence. Because every time you implement something socialist, it helps. It does. Every time.
Yep. Initially.
At the very beginning, it will always help.
Yep.
If you were to socialize medicine tomorrow, we would have, for several years, one of the best healthcare systems in the world.
And they would prop it up and prop it up and prop it up. Look how great this is. Look
Yes,
how great
and it would be,
is.
oh, look at how great this is, how well this is done, how many people are being helped by this that couldn't afford medicine before, that couldn't do all these things. The short term, it is by far and away the better option.
And coincidentally, it
But
will
the key
fail
word-
when the next president is in office.
The key word there is short term.
It's Band-Aids, not sutures.
Yes. Socialist policies and socialist ideas and socialist economics will never work in the long term. They are non-sustainable.
It is designed to destroy itself.
They have never been sustainable.
Never.
Because the idea behind the socialist ideas is literally to self-detonate so that they can be replaced by a communist ideal. But the problem with communist ideals is they are also not self-sustainable,
Yes.
because they do not take into consideration human nature.
Which is to better yourself.
Yes. You are constantly wanting to be better. You are constantly wanting to have more for yourself. Everyone constantly wants more for yourself. Your base desire is to improve your own life, to have more things for yourself, to do better things yourself, to do more things yourself. And communism does not support that, because it is somebody else giving you everything.
Right. Stop it.
And
Stop
it is impossible to achieve something for yourself or to get more for yourself if the only thing you can achieve and the only thing you can get is the thing that is handed to you.
See, what you're forgetting to think about here, though, Mike, is that's the problem with angry people. They try to go it alone. Digging in and making cranky people and cranky feeble pleas that their angries disown. Angry people think a good solution is getting others involved, so they surround themselves with happy people and watch the smiles dissolve. That's what you're not thinking about.
Is that a really long-winded way of saying misery loves company?
I mean, angry people get so sanctimonious telling us what to do, hoping no one outs them as all as phonies just because we're all phonies too. And those of us who once had wives and families understand what I mean. What was once a calm and peaceful refuge is overtaken by spleen, because they just drag you down.
Did they just throw in a random word because it rhymed?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
they did. They absolutely did.
Overtaken by
Spleen.
spleen.
They just drag you down until you're just like them. You know, also,
Never argue with an idiot. He'll drag you down to his level and beat you with experience.
that needs to be a shirt. That has to be a shirt.
I don't know what that's from. I know it's from something, but I can't remember what it's from.
But also, in a square, 1,000 angry people are waving signs in the air, while 1,000,000 other happy people are trying hard not to care.
Oh, it's Mark Twain.
You see, the happy people's biggest problem is they're never fearing the worst, while the rest of us will never sleep until your happy bubbles are burst. That's a fantastic song from certain ladies without clothes that sing songs.
Your depth and breadth of knowledge of random things astounds me.
Used to be called free beer, but now they're bare naked ladies because nobody wanted to go to free beer that wasn't actually free beer. Bare Naked Ladies, the band Bare Naked Ladies.
So then they were going to a show that wasn't actually Bare Naked Ladies.
No, but by that point they'd already hit it off, and so the name stuck.
You know, they have some very fantastic literature inside their songs. I think my favorite one is receiving postcards from chimpanzees. It's another one, another postcard from chimpanzees.
Yep.
Some of them were wearing jack boots.
Some chimps in hard hats.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anyway, that's all we got. That's it.
Almost all we got. We got one
Almost.
more thing, but we don't have time to cover it in depth, so we will post the link for it. Project Veritas.
Oh, yes.
Don't know how many of you know that one as well. Project Veritas is a journalistic, it's a journalist group that does a lot of undercover journalism. So they set themselves up in different groups, different organizations, and undercover record and write down
Oh, it's undercover, so they're
all different kinds of things that they find.
So they're illegally filming people, so it doesn't matter.
Sure. Does
That's
it matter if it's illegal or not, if it's not in a court of law?
That's what happened with the abortion stuff years ago.
Ah. Yes, but if it's not to be used in a court of law, if it's just for journalistic purposes,
Well,
I don't think it actually...
We'll see. That's why that's an issue, because it was used journalistically and then taken to court because
that
Planned
makes sense.
Parenthood wasn't happy that they were filmed undercover.
Either way, they go undercover and uncover all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, one of the things that they uncovered is voter fraud in Texas. So
Impossible. That never happens.
never happens. Not even a little bit.
Except for when it does.
Yeah. So
Voter fraud
we will post the link to that has the video. The video is about 17, 18 minutes long, well worth the watch. And the breakdowns you can find on different sites. We'll post one of the ones that we have here, and you can see how this stuff is happening, how a small group of people, I believe the group of people involved in this numbers about 6.
Right.
It's the one main lady, and she has 5 people under her that are doing this at the polling stations and going around all the different places. And the one lady by herself thinks that she has affected roughly 1,600 or 1,700 votes, I believe she said at one point in the video.
Is that all?
By herself.
Is that all?
So...
Yeah.
Yeah, but you talk about 1,600 or 1,700 votes in one place.
Yeah, that'll swing a county.
Yep, that'll swing a county. So there you go. We'll throw that link up. Anything else we need to go over?
We covered this last week, but this week I think it's the number of people that voted early now is top 60 million.
62, I think, last time I heard.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're right on the fringe of the same number of people that have voted before. Well, at least for the leading candidates, right?
I
Is it
believe
30
so.
million each? Is that what we had? I don't remember. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and find us on Patreon for the Slices of History.
Yes. Don't know what we're doing next, but it'll be fun.
Yep.
Whatever it is.
And when you subscribe to the Naked Apple on Patreon, it also sends you a link to join us in Discord, where you can make suggestions or drop us a note on what you would like to hear about in future
And
episodes.
we'll figure out more on how to actually use that.
I already know how to use it.
Well, yeah, I know how to use it, but more to interact with it as part of our regular stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
That part of it.
That part will be fun.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, all right. Well, until next time, we will see y'all later.
Bye.
Now we press the record button. And the
In Soviet Russia,
record
you do not record
buttons.
podcast. Podcast records you.
Oh. I don't know.
In Soviet Russia, you do not read articles. Articles read you.
Oh.
Was that your clap sync?
That was the clap sync. I don't
Okay.
use them, but it's there. Whatever.
just in
Yeah.
case.
Just in case.
In case we need it, it's there.
In case it is needed and you don't have your papers, you have the clap.